and anyone bringing in aid is actually enabling the continued oppression.
Yep.
That seems to be the general opinion. We don't have this stuff anyway. Might as well make it so those in the government don't get it. Is that about right?
That's about right, yes.
Yeah. I know it's more complicated than that, but going back to, let's use Bernie Sanders as an example. I know he's an actual socialist, but you could find, I mean, if you use Jane Fonda. Okay, Jane Fonda sided with Fidel Castro.
Yep.
The Viet Cong.
Yep.
And Chavez.
Yep.
Bernie Sanders honeymooned in the USSR, said bread lines in Venezuela were a good thing, and supported Fidel Castro.
Yep.
Bob Dylan's broad, Susan Rotolo, back then, who was a social activist, said, there's no violence. The regime won't, as long as you don't protest, it's fine. They were propaganda mouthpieces.
Yep.
I get that they're not all
Shoot, one of the
socialists.
California reps was paid by fucking Russia.
I don't often line up with every single socialist oppressive regime whenever given the chance, and then not be one, and that's the majority of those in the Democrat Party who have been active. It's almost like a compulsion.
Well, Democrat Party also is the party of slavery.
The Cuban regime is absolutely evil.
It's what that's what communism is.
Other evil regimes in history have. But let me ask you, what do you hope for, and what do you think most Cuban Americans hope for, as far as, like, how does this end? How would you like to see this turn out for Cuba?
Well, absolutely, I would like for Cuba to be freed from the 67-year nightmare. And what I want people to understand is that the U.S., although I am convinced, and there is evidence, that Cuba is a national threat to the U.S. Cuba is complicit with the terrorists of the world.
There you go.
And they're 90 miles away from the Keys.
So,
yes, they are a national security threat. But I want people to know that the U.S. really has no obligation to free Cuba. The only reason why we, as Americans as well, who are America First, are supporting this initiative is because we understand firsthand that people that have been disarmed and for 67 years oppressed, starved, this whole electric grid situation, that's also a strategy. It's not like they don't have resources
to break their will.
To fix these things. They don't care. And as long as they keep people in survival mode, it keeps them busy trying to, trying to see what they can do for the everyday, day-to-day, trying to see the lights come on so they could, charge their phones or cook for their children within that 2-hour span. That's an oppressive mechanism. It's not only that they don't have the resources to have electricity, it's also a tactic. People need to understand that. So, although the U.S. has no obligation, we are